Dakota Bush versus Brian Del Rosario is a lightweight bout. Dakota Bush has cheated record of 6 wins, 2 losses. Brian Del Rosario has cheated record of 5 wins, 3 losses. Alright, so first off, Dakota Bush is currently 26 years old. Brian Del Rosario is currently 30 years old, almost 31 years old, which means there's going to be a slight age advantage for Dakota Bush in this fight. Also, Dakota Bush is currently 5 foot 10 inches tall. Brian Del Rosario is currently 6 foot tall. So, Brian Del Rosario is going to have a slight height advantage in this fight. Now, the Tapology predictions for this fight literally have 91% of the votes going for Dakota Bush, mainly by submission or KO. 9% of the votes are going for Del Rosario, mainly by KO, but most of the votes are definitely going for Bush by submission. Alright, so Dakota Bush started off his career with a nice first round KO, followed by a nice decision win, another decision win, and a first round rear naked choke inside of the LFA against Jose Martinez. But in his next fight against Bryce Logan, he ended up getting his first ever pro MMA loss by unanimous decision. After that loss, he came back with a third round rear naked choke win over Patrick Rivera and a first round rear naked choke submission over Jordan Hyman. After all those wins, he ended up fighting Jaleel Willis, who just recently had a main event in the LFA, but he ended up getting his second loss, that time by decision. Alright, now let's take a look at his opponent, Brian Del Rosario. Alright, so Brian Del Rosario actually started his career off in Muay Thai, and actually ended up losing his first ever Muay Thai bout by unanimous decision. Came back with 2 decision wins in Muay Thai, and that's actually where he decided to go pro in MMA, and he ended up getting a first round KO, another first round KO with literally 1 second left in the round, followed by a third round triangle choke submission. But in his next 2 fights against AJ Bryant and Spike Carlisle, ended up losing both by unanimous decision and a second round rear naked choke submission. After those 2 losses, he came back with a nice first round Darce choke submission over Sergio Quinones, but in his next fight after that, ended up losing a unanimous decision against Alex Trinidad. After that loss, he came back with a nice first round KO, which got him in this fight against Dakota Bush in LFA 92. Alright, so Dakota Bush, we all know what his secret weapon is. It is that rear naked choke. He likes to take you down, try to get to your back, and literally just rear naked choke you. And Brian Del Rosario has actually been choked out before, and that just seems like the perfect way Dakota Bush is going to get this win. I do think Dakota Bush can take Rosario down, can get his back, and can get that rear naked choke, so that leads to my decision. I think Dakota Bush is going to get the win by submission by rear naked choke in the first round. Alright, if you agree, disagree, or have something to say, make sure to put in the description below, and I respect to every single one of those comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, with notifications turned on so you don't miss the absolute best MMA content out there. It's been fun, but I'm out of here.